Okay, so we're continuing notes for Math 7 8-1. This is measures of central tendency. So we just decided that when we're looking at data, there are two main things that we analyze, and that's the center and variation. This lesson focuses on the measures of central tendency. So those measures of central tendency, they measure the middle of the data, shockingly enough. So that's like this is like your grades at school. It's taking a whole list of numbers, and instead of looking at a list of 100 numbers, it's giving you one number that's supposed to represent that whole list of numbers, aka the middle of the data. There are three measures of central tendency that I'm sure you're familiar with. They all start with M. The first one we're going to talk about is the mean, or otherwise known as an average. And when you're finding the average or you're finding the mean, you need to start by adding all the numbers together or find the sum. Then you're going to divide by the number of values. When you're doing this, don't round unless the directions specifically tell you to. Even if you have a repeating decimal, just write it down as the repeating decimal. Now, when you're showing work for this, because it's going to be pretty tedious to write out a list of 100 numbers with plus signs in between them. So to show work, you're going to show me what the sum is. You're going to show me what number you got for your total. And then you're going to show me the number of numbers you're dividing by. So that way I can determine if your mistake was in your adding or if your mistake was in counting the number of data values. All right, so that's mean or average. The next measure of central tendency is what's called the median. And the median is simply just the number in the middle, or the middle number. Middle. Before you can find the median, it is absolutely essential that you order the data from least to greatest. Otherwise, you're not going to get the correct median. If on the chance that you have two middle numbers or two medians, if you have two middle numbers, what you do here is you just find the average of them. You're going to add them and then divide by 2. And again, the reason you're adding them and dividing by 2 is because you're finding the average of 2 in the middle. You're finding the middle of the two middle numbers. Last but not least, we talked about mean, we talked about median, so finally that leaves the mode. And the mode is the number that you see the most. It is the most occurring data value. So, depending on how many data values you have, if you have a data value that's repeating over and over and over again, that would be that mode, the one that occurs most often. Sometimes most, MO, mode, most matches. Depending on the situation, you can have one mode, or if every mode shows up once, you can have no mode. Or if you have a couple numbers that are showing up multiple times, you can have many modes. So it all depends on the specific situation. So those three things, mean, median, and mode, are the measures of central tendency, and each one of them measures the middle of a data set. It gives you one number that's supposed to represent all of the data.